All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WN Body Transformation podcast. And happy belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to everyone out there. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast slash watching my videos. It really helps me to get to more people out there, And I gotta stop saying, because it's one of my filler words. But in today's podcast slash video, I'm going to be covering on how my photo shoot went, how my cut went, what am I doing with training, nutrition, supplements, drugs, and the prep mistakes that I made, and some of the issues and challenges that I'm currently phasing out of the photo shoot. But before we just get started, I just want to make sure that and I just want to ensure whatever information that's mentioned in this podcast is solely for educational and entertainment purposes only. Whatever you want to try, do it at your own risk, although I'd highly advise you to not try it. And if you want to do something, please consult a physician before you do anything. Basically, that exactly is my only suggestion. So yeah, now that I got the disclaimer out of the way, before we proceed any further, feel free to like, share, subscribe. It really helps me to get to more people out there. So yeah, let's get cracking. So I did my photo shoot on the 24th, and these are some of the shots. I'm just going to attach them over here, and I phased out wonderfully. As you know, I'm still on peak week calories, but this week the cardio has been tapered off, and I'm still doing cardio because it psychologically helps me. 5 times per week, 24 minutes, daily fasted cardio. It just helps me psychologically stay in check. If I do cardio, mentally I'm in check. And I'm keeping my step count up at 10,000 steps, but I'm just trying to move as much as possible, so I'm not wearing the 10 kilo weighted vest. And I'm still using the standing desk because I want to keep my expenditure as high as possible, although that's going to make a bit of a minor difference. Because slowly and steadily I want my food to go up, right? Training, I'm going to begin training from next week onwards. TRT is still at 150 milligrams of testosterone split into 6 weekly administrations. Retatrutide is still at 1.2 milligrams. I don't know if it's working, if it's not working, but the food noise is still there at the back of my head. And yeah, the drugs that I'm taking is metformin for insulin sensitivity, supplements, berberine, NAC, fish oil, magnesium, zinc, multivitamin, vitamin D3. But yeah, the thing is, how do I feel? The sleep is getting better. I have stopped waking up in the middle of the night. I'm very disciplined with regards to my meals. I'm ensuring that I mainly squeeze in whole food, so my meals are looking like lamb liver, beef liver, chicken breast, 3 to 4 servings of fruits, potatoes, oats. I'm not eating bread at the moment because bread tends to leave me hungry. No white rice at the moment because it doesn't really fill me up. Apples, bananas, slowly and steadily. My banana stock is almost going to get over, so I'm going to taper that down because banana doesn't really keep me full. And mainly citrus-based fruits, things like kiwis, blueberries, a little bit of mandarin, apples, and that basically is it. For fats, I eat whole eggs, but I don't really need those many fats, so I keep it anywhere between something like 25 to 30 grams a day, because fats is mainly used for, what is it mainly used for? It's mainly used for a certain amount of fat, anywhere between something like 38 to 45 grams, depending on how big or small you are, is solely going to be used for hormonal production. That basically is it. Anything beyond that, fat is a really calorie-dense macronutrient. So my calories are anywhere between 1750 to 1755. Although sometimes I go overboard by 30 to 40 calories a day, but that's normal. You can't really stay accurate, but yeah. And I try to move something like 11.5k steps, although my coaches told me to do something like 10k steps, but just for prudence. Do daily fasted cardio 5 times per week. I sit in a calm, meditative, peaceful state when I eat my foods, because that actually lets me know Like when am I when am I full, when am I not full? So I pace my meals over something like 30 to 40 minutes. And I'm still keeping the routine in check. When it comes to how do I manage cravings? Cravings are going to be there, especially in the post show phase, post prep phase, because you come out of such a restrictive phase that you will have a tendency to overcompensate. That's when adding in a GLP-1 drug actually makes sense. But I've been on it for so long that I don't know if the effects are working or not, and I'm still at this more or less the same dose that at what I started off with. And as and when you get lighter, your physiology fights back the drug. So the drug needs to be tapered upwards to get the required benefits. And when it comes to vegetables, I am using peppers, mushrooms, onions, tomatoes, more volume-based vegetables, and having like a vegetable soup in the night, beetroot, carrots, cabbage, and what else? Yeah, and a little bit of marrow. That's basically it. I'm just keeping these vegetables because this is what I respond to best when it comes to digestion. Digestion is actually functioning properly. I'm keeping my hydration up to something like 3 to 5 liters of water. I'm having a Monster a day. Monster is the OG. And caffeine intake is anywhere between like 200 to 250 milligrams a day. The 2 to 3 cups of decaf Americano made by myself at home with stevia. So the extra 30 to 40 calories a day is mainly from a little bit of stevia, a little bit of diet sodas. That basically is it, right? No nibbles here and there. I'm really, really disciplined. As you can probably see from my mood right now. But the energy levels are slowly and steadily getting better. The libido is slightly better. It's not quite up there yet, but it's going to get better over the next something like 4 to 6 weeks, because the phasing out period is 6 weeks. If I nail this, that basically is it. So I'm excited to see how training goes. So yeah, life's good. I've been chilling out, been producing content, been working on my business. I've been watching TV shows because that helps me secrete more dopamine instead of eating shit. Although I did have like one free meal at the end of my prep. That was fucking amazing. But I felt really, really full after that free meal. Maybe 1.2 milligrams of retatrutide responds the best to my caloric intake, being anywhere between something like 2,700 to 2,800 calories for the day. Because on the day of the photo shoot, I ate my calories, and then when I was eating outside, I ordered a salad. On top of that, I ordered lamb kebabs, and then on top of that, I ordered aloo kulcha paratha, of which I ate something like 2 to 3 pieces, and I had like a small piece of chocolate after that. So it was relatively quite balanced, and my weight's back to the day, like 2 days away from the photo shoot. On the day of the photo shoot, I was at anywhere between 51.9 to 52 kilos. 2 days out from the photo shoot, I was at like 52.45 kilos. Yesterday, I was like 52.45 kilos. Today morning, I woke up, I didn't poop. So I'm at 52.8 kilos. But I'm there yet. I've been clicking photos of myself every day because that psychologically keeps me in check. And yeah, that basically is it. I'm still lean, as you can probably see, not quite there yet. But yeah, not like that dry and shredded compared to the day of the photo shoot, because obviously I was running some diuretics. But now the water levels are back up. That's why I look a little watery, but it's going to settle down in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Now, I wanted to make this podcast / video just to cover on some of the photo shoot prep mistakes that I've made, so that you guys don't make that. The first one is relying too much on effervescent electrolyte / vitamin C tablets, right? I'll chew them just to keep my cravings in check. Those do tend to have calories. I would have something like 6 to 7 a fucking day, and that would just further add 45 calories. I would have added a ton of stevia, right? Although that there's no problem in adding a ton of stevia, because the required intake for going overboard is something like 4 grams per kilogram of body weight, which is a lot. 4 milligrams per kilogram. Please don't quote me on that one. And the second one is I relied on a ton of caffeine, something like 500 to 600 milligrams a day. So now I've tapered it down to 190 to 300 milligrams a day. And yeah, I do feel the effects because of not having caffeine in my system. But I mean, it is what it is. This phase needs to be taken slowly and steadily and a week at a time, and you don't want to lose your shit. Yeah, the second thing is not being meticulous with time management. In the last 2 weeks, I was very proactive on the way my meals were supposed to be. The next day, what time am I supposed to go to the gym, my intra-workout, supplementation, etc., etc., etc. I have taken those same practices right now and use them, and I feel so much more calmer. The third one is I'm not really gonna give like a proper list to this, but not being proactive with cutting off my water intake. In order to keep my hunger levels in check, I was drinking water like 45 to 30 minutes before bed. Now I've cut it out like 1.5 hours before bed. Right, that was stupid. As a result of which, one of the reasons was I kept waking up in the middle of the night to pee. But that could also be because I was balls deep inside a deficit. That could also be because my body was in an extremely stressed out state. So yeah, right now the stress levels are relatively lower. Sorry, I'm just having a look at the notes because there are like too many things to remember. The other one is too many fizzy drinks. It actually came to the point where I was having like 7 to 8 diet sodas a day. Diet Pepsi, Diet Sprite, right? Those might have anywhere with something like 3 to 4 calories, and they do add up as well, and they do mess up your digestion in some cases. It didn't mess up my digestion that much, but next time I'm just gonna cap it off at anywhere between 2 to 3 a day because I'm digesting that fairly well. Also, too many chewing gums, they do have calories. And the last one is adding in a fuckload of cinnamon in my meals. Cinnamon is not a bad thing. Cinnamon is an amazing spice. But like a lot of bodybuilders end up abusing cinnamon. So it gave me a mild condition known as cinnamon stomatitis. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Where your tongue becomes inflamed and you get like small little sores on your tongue. And things don't taste like the way they're supposed to taste. So think like I was not able to taste stevia inside my black coffee. And I was like, fuck me, this is bad. I was not able to taste spicy food. So when I went to the restaurant, I ordered mutton seekh kebabs. It was obviously an Indian restaurant and the food is supposed to be spicy. But then, when I ordered it in, I'm like, why don't I find this as spicy like the way I did it basically before in the past? And I thought it was the stevia in the past, but so after the shoot, I pulled off stevia and caffeine at the same time, which was not a good idea. But then looking into the research, I pulled out cinnamon, and now my tongue is healing, and I can begin to taste stevia again. So that's psychologically helping me stick to the diet, basically. But these are some of the mistakes that I made, and everyone is different. Some people respond better to CBS, some people do not respond better to CBS. The next time if I'm going to be doing a prep, I am going to be keeping something like 2 to 3 diet sodas a day, keeping it towards the end of the day, keeping the electrolyte count at the back of my head, being proactive with my electrolyte balance, keeping my sodium to potassium ratio at 1:1. That avoids you from waking up in the night to pee. Cutting out my water intake 2 hours before. But obviously, it's, every prep, every photo shoot prep, every fat loss phase is going to be different. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. I've been doing photo shoots since 2019, and I've tried to diet several times and drop body fat several times over the years. Every time I've done it, I've become better at it. So the next time, I'm going to be even more better at it. This phasing out period is the best phasing out period because I'm so much more balanced. In the past, I'd go and lose my shit. So yeah, but what did I do well? I was super adherent this time. I binged over 11 to 12 months, just twice. I had 2 trips. The first one was in Bangkok in January, and I was smoking some weed, but in that time I didn't really gain any weight that much. And the second time when I went to Iran, obviously it was after like a bit of a breakup. I don't know if I was actually dating the girl or not. It was just like a bit of a casual relationship, but I did like the girl. So, I went for something like 11 days and I lost my shit over there. But this time I've actually learned how to be better under stress, manage things better under stress. I've been a bit more calmer. I've been a bit more disciplined with my time. My training has gotten like much more harder. I've stopped changing things. I've learned how to eat the same foods and be happy with it. I've learned how to like not abuse flexibility, but like while you're dieting, solely rely on whole foods. That's gonna keep you so much more fuller. Like I see a lot of people squeezing in shit within their calories, and then they wonder like, okay, why do they feel so hungry during a diet? You're gonna feel hungry during a diet. That's a given, basically. As a woman, you get leaner. It's physiology. Physiology is gonna adapt, basically. The other thing is, I didn't skip my training. In the past, I would ask my coach, "Hey, can you give me a deload?" Hey, yeah. This time I didn't do it. Slowly and steadily, I started prepping my own meals. My parents went to India for something like a month or a month and a half. I was very responsible around that time. Like, these are the good things that I've done, right? And I discovered Monster as well. So yeah, these are the things that I've done well. People, if you found this useful, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned on my journey because I'm going to be making some more videos. And over a given period of time, I'm going to be upping my dose of test because right now I'm still on 150 milligrams, which is TRT dose, to be honest. But slowly and steadily, I'm going to be pushing the food up. Well, my coach is going to be pushing the food up. I'm going to be maxing out on training. And once when progress halts on that one, then we make a slight 25 to 50 milligram bump just to see how the body responds. And we rinse and repeat and ride that for as long as possible. But the aim is to phase out in a slow and steady manner. So yeah, people, if you found this useful, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and have a nice one. Take care, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year's.